Welcome back to Manual Liberty. I'm Connor, and today we're going to be doing a DIY alignment for the track for my upcoming track day at AMP and at RA, and I'll bring you along for that. And right here we got our turntable. I forget where they came from. I got them off the internet, but I'll have a link down below for you if you want to look at them. But I do really like their quality. They're really heavy duty metal. We've got a locking pin here and a locking pin there and a middle alignment here. And I took the tape to the entire diameter of the turntable, and that come out to 13.5. I've got our middle mark right here for that, and you can tell it lined up with the arrow here. And I'm going to move both of them now. Right here, that middle line in the middle of the tire, and drive the car up on them with the middle of the tire, or the wheel rather, lining up with that to the middle of that. And coming back here now with the GoPro head cam on, you got your Quicktrick main body here. That will be your vertical bar that will go from top to bottom of your tire. Nothing too major here. You get a, well, to get off with, you'll have your lower bar here that will go down here. You can flip-flop the top and bottom if you had kind of more of a, like maybe a bagged car that come down further to the wheel that wouldn't allow you to have that top part here enough room to the fender. But anyhow, you got them two here. You get a cord, bungee cord, to help hold it onto the wheel if you need. Right here will be your clamping pin, and right here will be the digital gauge. And you got a manual in here too, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it together here. And to do that, you will take off your top nut here, like that, and you're gonna go ahead and grab one of them here. And you're going to take one of them off like there. Okay, that'll work. Like that. Put it here on there, and you can rotate it freely. We'll leave it kind of like that for now. And then you're going to take your bottom nut off here. Go ahead and turn on the bottom plate being threaded. It will butt up like that. And you're going to take your other two here. Go ahead and remove both of them. And it can be kind of tricky to do here, but you're going to want to put them in there like that. And put your bolt and washer through there like that. And we won't tighten it down yet due to the fact that they'll probably have to be rotated a bit. We'll go ahead and take our level here, put it on flat ground, hit that right there, hold it down for a minute. And here you can tell it got a 0.4 on the ground. We're at 0.5 here. I would call that even for the floor not being completely flat. But now we're going to take our thing here along with the key, and we will now mount it up to the wheel like that in order to get a little bit of play up and down. You want to keep it in the middle of the wheel. You may have to realign it. You may get it pretty well on your beginning try. But we'll take care of that in a moment. I'm gonna go with right there. And we will tighten that down like that. Now leave them untightened for now. What we're gonna do will be, again, to recalibrate the thing here. If you look, let me put that on different mode. Now that we've done that, if you look here, we are at roughly 88. We need to take it a little bit further to the left here until we get a 90-degree angle. Perfect. Now that you've got that, you can now grab your key and tighten them up however they need to be. That, and check it again, and we're continuing to be on 90. Perfect right angle. Alright, and now we are going to mount our level to the wheel, and for that I've already kind of got it in the way that I need it to be from playing around with it before. But what you want to happen, you want that right here to be completely flat on your bar, and that will mean that you will have to angle your back plate there either up or down. Either way won't matter. However, you will have to have it flat on that plane right here. Feeling good right there. We'll tighten that, and I'll tighten that. Alright, and you can tell right now that we have very little negative camber rather. The down arrow will indicate either negative or up for positive. And you can tell that right now we're only rocking with about 0.2 degree of negative camber. Now that had been when I kicked out the camber plate when I come back from the Red Mirror Rally in order to be able to make it home without wearing the tire completely down, blowing the cord, whatever. But for the track alignment here, I think I'm kind of going to follow the 350R recommended track, or well, they updated it for 19 and 20 and gave it a little bit more due to the 19 and 20 having a integrated factory OEM camber plate that you can play around with. And to get to there, you are going to follow your email from Quicktrick, the company that you bought your alignment tool from. And thankfully they do offer practically, well, not every, but they have a really big directory of factory or recommended alignment. And you go on there, you put in your code, and it'll add it to cart. You get an email, and then from that email you'll pick up where we're at here. You'll go right there to that tab, click that for quick. I'm going to click that, and after you get that loaded, it'll pull up make, and we're going to put in, I think you can type it in too, yeah, Ford, and it took a minute to load there. And we're going to put in our year of the car. Again, I'm going to go for the 2019, given the fact that they updated the alignment for the 350R a little bit. And we're going to go with the 350R right there. And that appeared to bring up kind of your regular off the floor or out of the factory alignment rather than the recommended track alignment. Again, if you do want to find your factory alignment, you can go to the quicktrick.com and find that there. However, I am wanting to try to target the track alignment for the updated 350R, and looking like probably going to do about -2 degree of camber, 6.92 of caster, and I'll be leaving the toe alone on the front, given the fact when I had it aligned before, I went ahead and did the 0.1 toe in, and I did 0.3 in the back. And in the back camber right now, I think we'll take a look at with the equipment here, but I'm at like 1.2, 1.3 give or take. I'll leave that alone. And here we've got our Quicktrick mounted up like that. And we're going to begin off here by getting our caster. And to do that, again, you're going to be needing the turntable. I've already marked on the inner port of 20 degree for either end. You're going to turn the wheel one way, then turn the wheel the other way. Take what you get in between the two and multiply that by 1.5. Well, one way you may get -3, the other way you may get, -2 or +2 rather, and that'll be whatever, and then multiply that by 1.5, and that will give you your angle. And I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out now, and then we'll get to the camber. All right, now you have got where you're going with that. We'll move on to the camber now, and I'm going to try to target 2 to 2.2, give or take. And that will be either, if you're unaware, and I probably need to go over that prior to, beginning the video here. But if you didn't know, looking at the core right here and looking at the tower right there, your angle will be currently like that, give or take, and a negative caster will be toward the front, other way will be toward the back of the car. And if you're doing camber, you'll be looking at the front part of your wheel, either leaning in toward the motor at the top, or for positive, the top will be coming out toward me. I'm going to be trying to target -2. Let it be going that way. And I'll go ahead and do that now and bring you back. All right, and now that we've gotten to our target at 2.2, and clearly again, you're practically doing what you did for the other one, but only having to, move one way out or in, depending on if you're wanting more or whatever. But all that here will, really be for whoever that might be, doing, I don't know, a track day or autocross or, anything like that, where you're kind of going back and forth between a more mild, highway-friendly alignment and, a more track-tuned alignment. And that kind of been what I'm doing here. You could do the lifetime alignment thing that I think a few people offer for like $150 or whatever, give or take. But a lot of the time you're going to have $150 worth of a nightmare for a lifetime, given the fact that a lot of them normally get it wrong, or you have to make an appointment however long out and then have to wait, or whatever. But if you're like me and kind of want to be able to do it on the fly, and you're going to be doing that fairly often, you know, then what I'm doing here might be for you. And on top of that, you could probably get away with the majority. On top of that, you could probably get away with the majority of, you know, not really getting the car up in the air on a wheel crib, and you know, kind of doing front to be, you know, both front to begin with, moving to both rear, and you know, doing your camber and all that. But yeah, overall, you know, if you're gonna be doing it back and forth and you don't want to have to deal with it, then you know, it ain't too bad. I mean, you do have to kind of tinker around with your camber plate if you have one equipped in order to get it to where you need it. But other than that, other than paying, you know, like I'd mentioned, 120 to 180 depending on where you are and where you go for an alignment every time you want to go to the track, and then another one when you get back, right here will be it for you. And I don't even think I have, I could be completely wrong, but I don't even think I have like more than 350 in between that and that. And by the time we go down to the Atlanta area for AMP and RA, and then come back, you know, again to do that alignment right now prior to the track, and then after I get back, you know, that'll be every bit of probably what I've paid already right there. And on top of that, I can, you know, maintain my daily if I need to redo an alignment on it. I probably do need to, you know, and then maintain the alignment on here and go in between back road or highway and the track alignment on here. But now that I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and make a mark. I did make a mark before when I got it aligned, but I'll make a mark for either way. That way I can do it a little bit quicker the following time, and then I will make another mark when I have it more toward the highway and back road driving with more neutral alignment. But yeah, overall not bad. I'll go ahead and take everything apart now, put it up and all that, get the car off the turntable, and then tomorrow we'll go for a drive, verify we got everything good. That will conclude my alignment for what I'm needing to do. If you need to know anything, I'm not overly a pro with the alignment category, but I thought that would probably benefit a lot of people like me that are doing what we're doing for fun and, you know, trying to keep a little bit of money while doing it. Yeah, overall, not too bad, and thank you for coming by, and I'll talk to you in another video.